Wall Street Memes Casino.
I'm fine.
And Sportsbook.
This is Oscar Bevis for IFLTV. Dan, good to see you, my man. And what a week we've got in store. Only the start today, but come Sunday, we've got a big old card at the O2.
Yeah, Easter Sunday. Yeah, what a treat. Have some chocolate and get to the O2. Honestly, I think this is one of the best cards that is kind of a free-to-wear card for some years now, you know. This is full of 50-50 fights. Fights where just people don't really know what to expect for the most part.
Yeah, we were just talking about this. You've got a lot of fights where you've either got the potential of them to be a right stinker, but also the potential of them to be a fight of the year. So we're just praying for the latter.
Listen, these fights could go either way. These could be fights of the year candidates or absolute stinkers. Look, if some of these fights, look, there's two fights that people are looking at and they're like, oh, three of them, and you're expecting absolute fireworks. Babbage and Robinson.
Nah, sorry, that can't be a stinker. That can't be a stinker.
I'm not sure how that one can be a stinker. Like, that one can only be sanctioned violence. Both of the boys just have to be fit, turn up, and just go for it. But the other ones that maybe people are a bit more split on are Congo, Marku. That fight, we know it's a good fight, but is it a fight that's going to catch fire? Who knows? Florin will do everything he can to make sure it does. And do you know what? If I'm totally honest, in my heart, I do believe it does, just because of the back and forth. They're even kind of having a dig at each other when they're doing the public workouts. I think there's more emotion in that, which means that that does catch fire. But if it doesn't, we have a stinker. Also, with Fraser Clark and Fabio Wardley, I mean, look, we know that fight is potentially one of the fights of the year. Fabio's always in electric kind of fights, and there's always back and forth, and there's drama in them, and sometimes he has to go to the well and back when maybe you don't expect him to have to. But then you have a Fraser Clark who has not even looked like dropping around in his professional career, but he gets a lot of stick for maybe being a bit one-paced. That could either be one of the two ways. Again, it could be an absolute barnstormer where we get it Fabio Wardley's way, a gunslinging fight, or it could just be a very boring fight. It's intriguing. I actually, obviously, we're all praying for the latter. I think we do get the latter, but we can't be surprised if it's not that. I've run these fights through in my brain a few times, and I've come out with a few different conclusions. I've done the Doctor Strange thing. I'm just seeing the multiple futures, and in one of them we have stinkers, but in the rest of them, barnstormers.
Well, fuck it, it's Easter weekend. If there's a man up there, I'm manifesting it. If there's a man up there, we're getting good fights. I don't know if feeling sorry is the right word, but I feel like there's been a lot heaped on Fraser in terms of Fabio having this white collar tag. He shouldn't lose it. He was a white collar fighter, and that's where he came from. Own it. But it's almost kind of people saying, you're an Olympian, how dare you even think about losing to a white collar fighter? But he's not a white collar fighter now. It's kind of, I feel like there's just a lot being put on Fraser.
Yeah, he was a white collar fighter, and he's not now, and he has Ben Davison in his corner now, and he's beating people with very good amateur records, so it doesn't really matter about the white collar thing. I think it's smart tactics from Fabio to keep kind of reminding people, listen, I'm just a white collar boy, take the pressure off me and pull it on that Olympian over there. I think deep down they both know it is a 50-50. I think the public are probably making that even more clear. When it was first announced, I think a lot of people had Fabio as the favourite. As time went on, it kind of moved slightly more equal. I think by the time Fight Night comes round, this is straight down the middle. It's just about who gets that fight.
Mate, I can't wait. I cannot wait. Sticking with heavyweights, I haven't spoke to you since, I don't think. I know it was a while ago now, or it feels like a while ago, but how good was Joshua's finish of Ngannou?
It was scary. I was sitting in the Sky Studio with Joshua Bratt saying it happened. It was just like, mate, that shot will take 15-20% off someone's nervous system for the rest of their days. If I'm in Ngannou now, I sail up into the sunset with all the money I've made of these last two fights. I don't fight a fight again. I don't need to. You know, you fought the two dominant heavyweights of this era. That's it. Just, what else is there left to prove? The shot that AJ hit him with just sent him to the shadow realm. There's not much more you can, that's it, you know. The Styles made the fights. He made a couple of mistakes. He bit a couple of times when he maybe didn't need to bite so early in round one, and he got punished for it. But AJ looks like he's back. That right hand looks like it's back in business. He's not thinking about when it's going, it's just going, and it's going through the back of the wall. It's just, that's it. You know, he's in destruction mode. So I think more now than ever is when we'll start to hear the cries for AJ Fury. I'm even very interested in seeing AJ Usyk free. I know Usyk's a different kettle of fish, and he'll do everything he can to kind of take his biggest weapon away from him. But yeah, look, just like a top performance. AJ's back.
Fury AJ, maybe finally, maybe, but I'm going to say maybe. Ngannou did bring a couple of excuses out kind of in the weeks after. It must be hard for him, I guess, because obviously this is something that we ain't going to know. It's just kind of a general talking point, but as someone that's kind of viewed as unbreakable, undentable, to not be stopped, but to be like nailed to the canvas, I can kind of understand why there might have been a few excuses, just because it must be so hard to look in the mirror and not feel like the same unbeatable man. Like.
Maybe. I hate the excuses, especially, I don't mind the excuses, but I hated that excuse. That excuse didn't make much sense to me. Sometimes you say things and as soon as they leave your mouth, you're like, I wish I didn't say that. I do it all the time. So yeah, I think it's just one of those things where he had an excuse, and sometimes you look for something as to why your performance wasn't it, and ultimately you make a mistake, you got punished severely for it, and that's all it was. You know, people would have preferred that he didn't say. I'm sure looking back, he probably preferred him not saying it, because excuses in the fight game, in anything really, they don't do you any favors. You know, even if I come home and when you're a kid and your mum says, why didn't you do this? And you come up, it don't change anything. You're still in trouble, right? So yeah, excuses, they don't do any good for anyone.
I know what you mean, especially in the fight game when you've had X amount of weeks to build up to the night you're on about. In terms of this 5v5, so the two heavyweight choices, we're hearing Dubois Hrgovic, and then I don't know if it's a bit of a cop-out, but they've chucked in the wild card where you don't have to have a match from a Queensberry fighter. We're hearing Zhang, who is a Queensberry fighter, and potentially Wilder. You happy with them two?
I like that fight.
It's a weird fight stylistically, Wilder Zhang, isn't it?
I think I would still expect Zhang to win, but only if Zhang wants to win. Does that make sense? Like, if Zhang...
He looked like he kind of couldn't be bothered with the end against...
If Zhang wants to win fights, he can win fights, you know, but if he decides that after 18 minutes he can't be asked here, I only want to throw 6 punches around, then he's probably going to give that fight away. This is what he did it against Hrgovic. He did it the other day against Parker. He's in controlling and dominant positions, and he gives that spot up. I'm not 291 pounds, so I'm not sure what it is like to carry that frame, but surely if you're fit enough to get there and to be in shape for that, it's just a few extra shots around would have him probably with a undefeated record.
If you were to pick out of any of the heavyweights, bar AJ, bar Fury, bar Usyk, to get their hands on a world title, who would it be?
We're taking out Usyk, AJ, Fury.
In the next 18 months, who's going to be the one to get their hands on a world title?
At the rate he's getting them, it could be Daniel Dubois. He seems to have a world title shot every 3 months. So yeah, I would probably go Dubois. I think he might be too big for Hrgovic, but Hrgovic is big and solid and strong. So I don't know. Interesting fight, but I just think with the size and the power of Daniel Dubois, he's always in with a chance to win a world title. And if the stars were aligned differently, he probably would be a world champion now after his fight with Usyk. So who knows? I would pick him, probably because that's the only one that's come to my mind. Who am I missing?
I think Daniel's a great shout.
Yeah, it is a good shout. I'm just trying to think. Is there someone else that I'm not thinking of right now? No, let's go Daniel. Stick with Daniel for now. Yeah.
I can run this back when he wins it. Dan, top man, legend.
Wall Street Memes Casino.
I'm fine.
And Sportsbook.